Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And a cheery morning I bid to the master of ceremony, judges who are full of intellect, timekeeper always punctual, and lastly my beloved audience. I'm well aware everyone is wondering, why is that kid standing there? Well, lend me your ears and all will be explained. I stand here today very humble yet proud in order to give a speech entitled Vaccine, the Obedience and the World Safety. Dear audience, I'm sure another question has popped in your minds. What is he talking about? Well, let me start with a backstory. As we all know, the world has gone through one of its toughest times, known as the coronavirus pandemic, which started around February of 2020. Fast forward to the middle of 2021, few companies such as Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and many others have started to develop vaccines in order to slow down the spread of this lethal virus. As with all new things that come, there will be believers and there will be doubters. Wait a second. Let us backtrack a little so I could explain to you about vaccine. What is this thing? Why is the government trying to inject liquids into our bodies? Are they perhaps trying to control us? Sorry to ruin your fantasies, but no. A vaccine is made from tiny fragments of the disease-causing organism it's trying to fight. In layman's terms, the COVID-19 vaccine contains parts of the virus itself that is added with various ingredients in order to alter the way it works, to slow down or kill its own kind. But of course, the raw idea of having an unknown liquid and, well, a virus, whilst being weakened or dead, injected into your body is scary to say the least for most. Which leads me to my next point. My friends, not all things are well accepted at first. Be it a new student in class or, in our case, a vaccine. As I have mentioned, there are believers and there are doubters. It makes sense. Even I would be skeptical if someone told me to inject the bad thing into my body to kill the bad thing. It does not make a whole lot of sense. That's why I applaud the efforts of all the governmental and all the private bodies who did their best to make people aware of the dangers of this virus and why it's absolutely important to be vaccinated. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in Surah Az-Zariyat verse 55, A'udhu billahi minasyaitanir rajim wa dhakkir fa inna dhikra tanfa'ul mu'minin, which means, and continue to remind, for certainly reminders benefit the believers. Wait, that verse only mentioned the believers. What about those doubters? I'm sure we are familiar with the term anti-vax community. These are people who are against being vaccinated, be it for themselves or their family members. They lie under the pretense that the vaccines are just a huge governmental plot in order to control our minds. Sounds absurd, doesn't it? Well, what dangers could they bring to us? We're already vaccinated. Sadly, that's the perspective most people have towards this community. No, vaccines aren't an all-in-one solution to fully ward off the disease. To better understand, think of it as wearing clothes. If it's very cold and you're only wearing a single layer of clothes, in our case, a face mask, you will still feel slightly cold. But if you keep putting on more and more layers, again in our case we'll be sanitizing our hands and ultimately being vaccinated, you'll feel less and less cold. It doesn't completely stop you from feeling the weather, but at the very least, it will help negate the full effects of it. Yes, dear attendees, even if you're vaccinated twice or even thrice with the booster shot, you're still not totally immune from contracting the virus. And logically, those who aren't vaccinated at all are exposed to a higher risk of being infected. They then will still be ignorant about it and walk out in public, exposing everyone around them to such a dangerous thing. It's not that we're being selfish, but in a sense, those who are against vaccines aren't as dangerous to themselves as they are to those around them. But why exactly are they against something scientifically proven to be good? In my humble opinion, it probably comes down to the side effects. One wouldn't expect a good thing to bring bad side effects, right? As we all know, some people may be allergic or weak towards certain substances in the vaccine. We also know that when our body receives a vaccine, our entire immune system rewires itself in order to fight the disease, which may make one slightly more vulnerable towards simple pathogens and end up having mild fever, cold, or simply being tired. Oh, wait, you didn't know that? Well, now you do. In a hadith narrated by Al-Tirmidhi, outlines the story of a Bedouin man who was living without tying his camel. The Prophet, peace be upon him, asked, "Why won't you tie down your camel?" The Bedouin man answered, "I put my trust in Allah. The Prophet then said, tie your camel first and then put your trust in Allah. This hadith perfectly encapsulates the mindset of these people. They think that if you're going to get sick anyways from a vaccine, might as well not take the vaccine at all and pray to Allah that you won't get the virus, right? The concept of tawakal is where one puts effort to achieve a goal before putting his trust in Allah to complete it. But that's a story for another day. My friends, we should not discredit the communal efforts that are pushing for vaccine. Governmental and private bodies have been trying their best to upkeep the supply of vaccines for the people. Over the last quarter of 2021, the Ministry of Health has been working with privately owned clinics and hospitals to distribute the vaccine to the people. They will set up campaigns and set up vaccination facilities in local areas so people wouldn't have to make appointments and go to a hospital just to get vaccinated. There are also those amongst ourselves who help in spreading awareness of this virus and why it's crucial to be vaccinated, be it to our friends and family or to those random strangers on social media. All these little things slowly yet surely pile up to be something worth the effort. As he said in Surah An-Najmi, verse 39, A'udhu billahi minasyaitonir rajim, wa an laysa lil insan illa ma sa'a. And nothing is for man but what he worked for. Dear audience, as we slowly walk towards a post-COVID reality, we must not forget the hardships that the entire world has gone through, and for some, are still going through to achieve this victory. Sure, the restrictions may have been lifted or made lighter, but that does not mean one can run around as if nothing ever happened. Do wear your mask in close spaces around others. Seek medical checkup if feeling unwell, and just be safe in general. I did not drag my speech any longer than in other years, so I would like to close today's talk with a simple and quick conclusion. We do not have the grasp of every single thing in existence. We're humans after all. As it said in Surah An-Nahl, verse 74, A'udhu billahi minasyaitonir rajim, fala tadribu lillahi al-amthal, inna Allah ya'lam wa antum la ta'lamun. And do not compare yourselves to Allah, for He knows all, whereas you do not know all. That's why there are experts in this certified fields that can explain these things to us. We should not ignore the advice of these people and those around us in general, and be wary of what our not so blissful ignorance might cause to others. Well, that's all I have to share for today. Thank you for lending me your ears. I would like to end my speech with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and have a nice day.